Hello, welcome to True Crime Talk. I'm Kathleen, and today I want to talk about missing Sebastian Rogers. I'm sure many of you have heard about his case, but just in case you have not, I wanted to share this active missing child alert. And I'm getting the information straight from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. They have a website that I encourage everybody in Tennessee or surrounding states to go to and not only look at Sebastian's case, but all the other missing children and adults. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers has been missing since February 26, 2024. He's 15 years old. He's missing from Sumner County, Tennessee. So as you know, he's been missing for quite a while now. He's been missing over a month. And he did not celebrate Easter at home with his family. His height is 5 foot 5 inches tall, weight 120 pounds, and his hair is brown and his eyes are brown. I'm going to click on it so we can see it has the same information I already read to you. But if you have any information on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838. I also wanted to go over some of the other missing children, active missing child alerts on this TBI page while I'm here. So I won't talk about the ones that have been resolved, but I'll just click on the ones that haven't been resolved yet. Another Tennessee endangered young adult is Holly Lynn Snap. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Holly Lynn Snap. She's 19 years old and she's missing from Kingsport, Tennessee. Her height is 4 foot 8 inches tall. She's 110 pounds and brown hair and hazel eyes. Another Tennessee endangered young adult is Layla Santinello. She's age 20 and she's been missing since June 26, 2023 from Kingsport, Tennessee. She's 4 foot 10, 135 pounds, blonde hair, brown eyes. Missing since February 2nd, 2022 is 2-day-old Kennedy Hoyle. This is a Tennessee Amber Alert, and this doesn't say resolved, so I assume it's not being resolved. I do not live in Tennessee. So if anybody knows anything different about these cases I'm going over that they have been resolved, please comment below to let people know that they have been resolved. But this is Kennedy Hoyle. She was just 2 days old when she went missing in February of 2022. And of course, she was a newborn baby, so there's not much to say about her other than she had brown hair, brown eyes. And at the time, she was 6 pounds and 17 inches. But obviously, she would be bigger now. Let's read her Amber Alert. A statewide Amber Alert has been issued on behalf of the Memphis Police Department for Kennedy Hoyle. Kennedy is a 2-day-old Black female with brown hair and brown eyes. Kennedy was last seen wearing a black and white polka dot onesie with pink pants. Kennedy was last known to be in the area of Sedgwick Drive and Levi Road in Memphis, Tennessee. If you have seen Kennedy or have information regarding her whereabouts, please contact the Memphis Police Department at 901-545-2677 or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. So that's sad if she's still missing and she's a newborn at the time. Hopefully, not that it makes a difference. Obviously, there wouldn't be an Amber Alert if everything was okay. But hopefully she's with a parent or some family member who's taking good care of her. I don't know if she was abducted by a stranger or what. But if you're in Tennessee and you can let me know in the comments. And of course, here is missing Summer Wells. She is still missing, of course. She's a missing 5-year-old little girl who's been missing since June 15th, 2021 from Rogersville, Tennessee. She was 3 foot tall at the time, about 40 pounds, blonde hair, and blue eyes. And let me click on her thing. So this is her Amber Alert. Her full name is Summer Moon Utah Wells. And this case has not been resolved as of this date. And I hope so badly that Sebastian Rogers' case doesn't end up to be like hers. I hope the TBI can figure out Sebastian's case since they have been unable to figure out her case. There's still hope, of course, but just with the passage of time and because she was only 5 years old at the time, and if they haven't found her by now, I don't think they will, you know. It doesn't seem very likely that they will find her, but anything's possible. She could be out there. Maybe somebody took her and her parents had nothing to do with it, but you know, it doesn't look good. And this is another Tennessee endangered child alert. And I think that the endangered children is a little bit different than the Amber Alerts, but I'm not sure exactly what the differences are. I have a feeling that maybe endangered means they walked away on their own or went off with somebody they knew who the family knows, but they're older children. But Amber Alerts means they've been kidnapped or, you know, they need to find them because they think they're at risk. And Sebastian's in that category. But let's click on her thing and see. She's been missing since September 22nd, 2015. And she was 15 at the time she went missing. So she would be an adult now. So this case doesn't say resolved on the website. So I assume she's never been found. Let's see. An East Tennessee endangered child alert has been issued for the Winchester Police Department for 15-year-old Ava Alejandra Lopez. She is a Hispanic female, 5'4" tall, 150 pounds, green eyes, and brown hair. She was last seen on September 22nd, 2015 at her residence. Clothing and direction of travel is unknown. She is possibly in the company of 25-year-old Alvaro Gomez Martinez. Martinez is wanted for 6 counts of aggravated statutory rape. Well, I hope they found her by now, or I hope she's out there living, you know, alive and just doesn't want to get in contact with her family and she's an adult now. So it's not good that she went off with a 25-year-old, but maybe they're out there somewhere still together. Or, you know, it could be that he did something bad to her, but there's so many missing people in this country, it's sad. And this is one from 2012. This is Chloe Leverett, missing since September 28, 2012. She was 9. And also on the Amber Alert was Gage Daniel, and I think these are related because they're both September 28, 2012. He's age 7, and they're both missing from Unionville, Tennessee. She had brown hair and blue eyes, and Gage had brown hair and hazel eyes. Now go down here to Zaylee Grace Fryer, missing since May 10th, 2011. She was 4 months old, from Millersville, Tennessee. Black hair, brown eyes. Tennessee Amber Alert. Kind of like, Zaylee has a quarter-size brown birthmark on her right leg. She's been missing since 2011. And other possible victims missing with her are Shauna Fryer, I assume that's her mother, a 28-year-old white female with blonde hair, hazel eyes. And she was 5'6", 160 pounds. I say was, but they could be alive, so she may still be out there. A Middle Tennessee Amber Alert is being issued for the Millersville Police Department for 4-month-old Zaylee Grace Fryer. White female, brown eyes, black hair, weighing 12 pounds and approximately 24 inches tall. Zaylee has a quarter-size brown birthmark on her right leg. Zaylee was last known to be with her mother, Shauna Marie Fryer. On May 10th, 2011, investigators confirmed the identity of a woman recovered deceased in Davidson County as Shauna May Fryer. Okay, so Marie Fryer has been found deceased, but they haven't found the baby. So I don't know if the baby was ever found also deceased, or if whoever killed her mother is still off with her somewhere. Maybe they're raising her and she's alive and well. The suspects are unknown. Just says male suspect. No photo available of a vehicle. So anyway, this is from 2011. So it's an old case from Tennessee, but Zaylee Grace Fryer, as far as I know, has not been found alive or dead as of today. If you know any different, if this case has been resolved, please let me know in the comments. Now update this. Okay, so Gage Daniel. I'm going to look up Gage Daniel to see more about their case. Let's see. Mother believes children are still alive 10 years after their disappearance. So this was posted September 23rd of 2022, Shelbyville, Tennessee. A decade after then 9-year-old Chloe Leverett and then 7-year-old Christopher Gage Daniel disappeared, their mother, Cheryl Daniel, still holds out hope they're alive. Chloe and her brother Gage were believed to have died in a house fire in Bedford County with their grandparents on September 23, 2012, until investigators searched for several days and never found the children's remains. Officials confirmed grandparents Molly and Leon McLaren, the family dog, and a pet bird died in the fire when they discovered the remains. Even though Chloe and Gage were initially thought to have been inside the home too, there were no signs of them among the ash. After days of sifting through the rubble, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued an Amber Alert, and 10 years later, Chloe and Gage are still considered missing. Their case remains open. It hurts that I have to look at a missing poster picture to see what my children might or might not look like because you just don't know, their mother, Cheryl Daniel, said. Even though officials have not determined the cause of the fire, Daniel believes it was set on purpose and her children were kidnapped. They had to kill my mom and dad. There's no other way they would have gotten my children, and they took Chloe and Gage, Daniel said. Where they took them, I don't know. Investigators have previously told News 2 it would have been impossible for Chloe and Gage to have been in the house during the fire and not have left behind some form of remains, such as teeth. Daniel said time has not healed her pain, it's only made it worse. She believes her children are still alive, which is the only thing that keeps her going. Chloe and Gage, I have hope and faith that they'll come home, Daniel said. I gave it to the Lord years ago, and I know in his time he'll bring them home and I will see them again. I know that. The TBI does not have any new information on the case, but is still accepting tips. If you know anything about Chloe and Gage's whereabouts or the fire, call the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND or email tips to tbi@tn.gov. So that's an awful case. And I'm not familiar with this case. I don't live in the state of Tennessee. Now, maybe years ago I did hear something about it. Maybe it was on the national news and I just forgotten after all these years because there's so many crime cases and missing kids cases and stuff. But this is a very interesting case. This is a case where, they thought people died and a whole family died in a house fire, but they didn't find the children there, just the adults and the pets. So that's scary to think that somebody murdered the grandparents and abducted the kids. And this is just one story about this case, so it doesn't say if there are any suspects, could the father, or I noticed the kids have different last names, could the father or one of the fathers have been involved in their abduction? Some registered sex offender in the area or something like that. So if you know anything about this case, put it in the comments below because I'm interested in this. I don't recall ever hearing about this case. I remember other cases where, house fires have killed parents and other family members, but then the kids go missing. And I think that there's a case on Unsolved Mysteries. I believe it's 2 teenage girls. And I want to say it was in Arkansas or Oklahoma. I can't remember the state right now, but where there was a trailer fire and they thought the girls had died in the fire, but they were actually abducted. And I think their bodies were found years later or it's proven that they're murdered and maybe their bodies weren't found. But anyway, so this is just awful that these kids could have been abducted and nobody even, has a clue as to who or why or what. Wow. That's another sad case. But let's go back up to this one, Sebastian Rogers, age 15, of course, a white male. There's his picture. He is still missing. So please share his flyer with everybody that you can and encourage others to share it to get his face and picture out there. Look at his sweet smile, just a sweet smile. In this case, touches me a lot. They all do, but I hate, I enjoy true crime and mysteries, but I hate, like true crime that involves children. It's hard for me to, cover children's cases because it's just so depressing and sad to me. And to think that, like a lot of people do, they think maybe parents or family members were involved in his disappearance. And that's just horrible, horrible to think about. Because, if he's special needs or something like that, and the parents didn't want to deal with him no more or couldn't handle him or something like that, they should have just gave him up or gave him to his biological father or some other family member, his grandparents on his father's side or something like that. It just seems like a lot of these cases today of missing children is always, the parents do something to their own kids or their stepkids. It's just ridiculous. Statistics prove that when a child goes missing, if they haven't, ran away on their own, which is very rare for a teenager to run away on their own and never come back, but it's very rare for a child to be abducted by a total stranger. It's always going to be somebody the child knows if he was abducted. And some people think he left on his own. I find that hard to believe because his parents keep insisting that his shoes were all his shoes were accounted for in the house. And I like to think if he was going to run away, he would have took his shoes with him. He wouldn't run away barefoot. And I've heard some reports that it could have, or read online or heard online in YouTube videos that it could have been that he was locked out of the house as punishment and he didn't have his shoes on at the time. And then he got mad and walked away or something. But I believe they would have found him by now, either dead or alive, around the house or within, I don't know, like a 5-10 mile radius around the house somewhere. So it's just awful suspicious to me. It's like somebody did something to him to hide him, whether dead or alive. But hopefully he is alive out there somewhere and he can come back one day. It's just right now it doesn't look good because he's been missing for so long, over a month, and he didn't have anything with him. So unless he was abducted or has been hidden by someone in the family or somebody who knows the family or something like that, it could very well be that he's been the victim of a crime, which hiding a kid is a crime even if you don't intend to hurt them. So if anybody knows anything at all about Sebastian's whereabouts, please contact the TBI. Remember, it's 1-800-TBI-FIND, or you can contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838. I'm going to look up some more pictures of him so we can get some more. Yeah, all the pictures you've probably seen online or on the news if you're following this case. Just look at that sweet smile. And this case touches me because I have an aunt who's also special needs, and he has that cute, sweet smile just like she does. Of course, my aunt is older. She's in her 70s now, but it's just what I have a problem with that makes me suspicious of the parents is that they're not looking for him. It's like they already know he's not, he's not going to be found, or they don't want him found. It's like, why aren't they looking for him? That's their son or their stepson. Look at that smile. It just, let me go. Seems like they're not as interested in finding him as other people, total strangers, are. There he is. This boy should be at home in the safety and comfort of his family, but he's missing. And it seems to me, just my opinion, that some of his family members don't seem too concerned about finding him. So either they know where he's at or they just don't care. And both of those are sad. And the reason I think it's probably more likely that he's been a victim of a crime is because if somebody in the family knowingly and willingly, with the parents' permission, took him somewhere, but he's alive and well, they just took him somewhere to live somewhere else for whatever reason. With all the press and the police investigation going on about this case, it looks like they would have gave him up by now because they fear getting in trouble, because they could get charged with kidnapping or, hiding a child, whatever. I don't know what the specific charges would be, or interfering with an investigation, because if you know about a missing child, you can't withhold that information. As far as I know, I don't know what the laws in Tennessee are. I just know you can't lie to law enforcement, or especially the FBI, but I guess the FBI is not involved in this case. But remember the Sherry Papini case? She was charged because she lied to an FBI agent. I don't know, can people lie to TBI agents, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and not be charged with a crime? I don't know, but that's what makes me think, well, if somebody knew where he was alive and well, they would have already gave him up now. So it makes me think he's been the victim of foul play, most likely by somebody he knows and knows well. So if you know anything at all about Sebastian, please contact the TBI and share his Amber Alert everywhere that you can. The TBI website is a great resource for, especially if you're in Tennessee or surrounding states, to look up all the missing children and all the missing persons in Tennessee, to just keep their names and faces out there. You never know, these cases could still be solved. And they also have missing adult alerts. And I think this is a new one. Mark Nichols, missing since March 31st, 2024, from Johnson City, Tennessee, age 53, height 6'1", 165 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. These are missing adults. And I think maybe he's elderly or demented or has a mental illness or something like that. And so they send out an alert for them just like they would a child. Let's see, a silver alert has been issued on behalf of the Johnson City Police Department for Mark Shoestring Nichols. Mark is a 53-year-old white male, 6'1", 165 pounds, with blue eyes and brown hair. Mark was last seen at his residence on March 27, 2024, and he last spoke with family at 3 a.m. The same morning, Mark is known to ride trains and is missing 2 fingers on his left hand. Oh, so that's a good clue to help find him. Mark is missing 2 fingers on his left hand. He also has a long gray and white beard. Mark has several medical conditions that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. If you have seen Mark or have info about his whereabouts, please contact the Johnson City Police Department at 423-434-6125 or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. So this man is missing, and somebody out there obviously cares about him and loves him and wants him to be found. And so a silver alert was put out for him. I bet his family or friends care more about him than probably some of the family members of Sebastian, because it doesn't seem like Sebastian, as far as, you know, his step grandparents and mother's side of the family, it doesn't seem like they're working real hard to find him. Like, I could be wrong. I'm not on social media. I'm not on Facebook and all that. So maybe, you know, the family is very involved, but to my understanding, it is the biological father, Seth Rogers, and of course the public that's more concerned and actually searching for him than his own mother and stepfather. So anyway, if you know anything about Sebastian Wayne Rogers, please contact the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND.